Yo, Beth, that shit crazy.
Down, 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 down. Hey, down. Boy, I try to tell you, ain't nothing better than getting sent home. Nothing better than getting sent home. Back to the basement. You get sent home at home. We lit. We on fire. We lit. What's going on with you? We lit. Let's do it. It's a celebration in here. Woo, hoo, hoo, hoo. Woo. Lordy. Come on in. It's a celebration. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna open it anyway. What are these? Those glow sticks? Yeah, let's pop these. Man. Let's get these glow sticks, man. Let's get these glow sticks going. Clippers get smoked at home. And guess what? It wasn't a home anyway. It wasn't a home. They don't have a home. They don't have their own building. When you get smoked like this in your so-called home building, it ain't your building. So you know what I always say? Back to the basement. Get your space heaters, your dehumidifiers, your first down jackets, anything that you need to stay warm in that basement. You need it. Woo, Bryson, get your butt in here. It's a celebration. Hey. What's up, man?
How you doing? Actually, that's a dumb question. I know how you're doing.
What? Listen, you don't have to ask me anything.
Nope.
What a game by Chris Paul. You know what he did? You know what he did in this game, Bryson? He did exactly what I wanted him to do. He said, if it wasn't for me, there would be no Clippers Renaissance. There would be no, Lob City. I started that. And the fact that you guys didn't appreciate me when I was here, you allowed me to go to Houston and nobody cared because you thought that I was over the hill. You thought that I didn't have anything left. I was injury prone, all that stuff. Cool. He lit him up in the building that he built and he tore it down.
That's a great story. No, we all thought he was.
Hey, man, don't worry about me. Just talk. I'm good. Go ahead.
I got you. We thought he was done, after 2019 in the second round when they lost against Golden State. We thought he was washed. We thought he was old. And last year leading OKC to the playoffs, like, okay, he could still contribute to winning as well as just about anybody. I say there's like a group of 4 players. I think it's LeBron, Steph, Jimmy Butler, Chris Paul. Those 4 guys affect winning more than anybody else in the league. Like everywhere they go, everything they touch turns to gold. He shows up to Phoenix, a team that was 13 games under 500 going into the bubble, with Monty Williams, with Devin Booker, with some of the guys they have now, and they're 4 wins away from being NBA champions. So,
I agree.
And this is tonight.
I don't think there's any better story in the league, Bryson, right now, honestly.
There's not. I mean, you're talking about, when he came back from COVID, he clearly wasn't himself. He had missed 19. He went 19 for 60 from the field in the first 3 games since he came back from COVID.
He was awesome.
The biggest game of his life, and he drops 41 points in his old building.
Listen to what I said on the podcast. This game would be the farthest he's ever been in the playoffs in his career. He's never seen a Game 6 in the Western Conference Finals ever. He had a chance back in 2017. He was hurt. He wasn't a part of that. Now he was a part of it, and he showed up. He showed up like I didn't think that he – listen, I knew that he was going to have a good game because I knew he was going to take this personal. But this performance to have 30 points in the second half of the game, this was fit. Chris Paul, listen, Black Cat Paul, it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, you need to retire that. You need to retire that.
It's gone. His name, you're still Chris Paul. You're CP3. Thank you for what you did. You don't understand. You see what that says? You see what that says?
Best day ever.
Best day ever. The basketball gods have been nice to me. Thank you. And listen, you know what makes this all the better? What makes this all the better, Bryson, is the fact that Patrick Beverley,
oh my goodness,
just couldn't take it. What a sore loser! You gotta shove him in the back like this is the playground. Like I thought I was back in Queens. I thought this was Brookfield Park, man. You're getting smacked up by 30 points. The other team doesn't like it. They want to start fouling. They want to argue, and then they want to fight. Come on, man. Bush League. But this is why people don't like the Clippers. This is why there's a universal hatred for this team, for this franchise. There's only about 4 or 5 people that actually root for the Clippers. There's a reason for that. They're scum. They're scum. They're bottom of the barrel scum because of how they behave. When they are up, they are front runners. They like to show off. They like to, stick it in. They like to, cheerlead and do all this nonsense. You even seen Boogie Cousins talking to Chris Paul. Oh, this is why nobody likes you either, and that's why you're going home.
That's it, man. I'll tell you, I was like genuinely, I don't want to say pissed off, but it was when I saw what Pat Bev did, I was like, man, this is why. I don't even know if it was a Clippers thing as much as it was a Pat Bev thing. He prides himself on, oh, I'm such a great defender, dude. You're 6'1". I remember. To me, what my favorite Patrick Beverley moment, because here's why I don't like him. He's a dirty player. There's nothing, nothing more, nothing less. He ended the Thunder's championship hopes in 2013 when he dove into Westbrook's knee
by low-breaking Westbrook. Yes.
Yeah. He's done the same thing as Steph. I think he did it to Westbrook a few years ago again. And my favorite was 2 years ago. Maybe I'm saying this because I'm a Warriors fan, but 2 years ago. The Clippers had that huge comeback on Golden State in Game 2, and KD didn't play well at all. And people are saying, oh, Pat Bev at 6'1" is locking down 7-foot Kevin Durant. And KD says –
and then for the rest of the series, he torched him.
Torched them. I don't know why they put him on him to begin with, but I mean that was a classic Patrick Beverley move. Going up to the guy, CP didn't even say anything, just shoving him for no reason. I mean, come on, man. Come on. That's 80s crap.
That's not even 80s crap. They don't even do that in the 80s. Some people have class. That right there is a guy that knew he was out of his league, that knew that Chris Paul was busting his behind, and he couldn't take it anymore. And listen, I agree with you on your point in regards to, Patrick Beverley. This has always been his thing. But I'm telling you, Bryson, there's something when you put on that jersey.
That's fair.
It changes you. It makes you this sour, this awful part of yourself that just comes out. It's awful. It's completely terrible. And this is why nothing could please me more. They win Game 5 on the road. And I said it on the show. People can go ahead and check it. I said everybody wants to give Paul George flowers and congratulate him on a great performance. And hey, he had a great performance. I can't knock that. But I want to see what Waldo George does in the Game 6 and the Game 7 because I know him. He can't fool me. I've seen him for a long time. He can't fool me. And he showed up tonight. He did exactly what I wanted him to do. And I'm very, very happy. Very, very happy.
Well, first of all, I've seen worse from Paul George than tonight. He wasn't great tonight. He wasn't.
I will agree.
Here, I will have to say, give a ton of credit. Phoenix said we're going to make everybody else. Reggie Jackson. Marcus Morris had a solid game. We're going to make Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, Boogie. We're going to make all y'all beat us. Paul George is not dropping 40 on our heads again. So I think you got to credit some of that to Phoenix. I will say this about, and you're not going to like this, but playoff P, because that's who he is.
Listen.
Because
I gotta give him his flowers. I agree. I gotta give him his flowers. He played his ass off in his playoffs. I'm not gonna hate on him. Listen, when they needed him to carry this franchise and carry this team on his back, he did it. He did it. So, but that's where it ends. I'm not gonna give him anything more than that. You're good. You proved yourself in these playoffs, but I need to see more. If he does it again next season, then I'm gonna say, okay, this is a trend. One player, one little round or two, that's not enough for me. It's not enough for me. I've seen too much basketball to try to. You're not gonna fool me that way. I need to see it again next season. Who knows? Who knows, Bryson? Maybe, just maybe, he will be doing it just like this next season. Because guess what?
possible.
Maybe Kawhi Leonard won't be here.
Maybe, man. I don't. I'm starting to think they might be better off without Kawhi.
Let's deep dive into that. Then. Let's deep dive into that because what the Clippers gave up for Paul George, they gave up a king's ransom for that guy. They gave up like 15 draft picks. I'm exaggerating, but they gave him a ton of draft picks. They said, and they committed $200+ million to him. They have committed to this guy long term. The other guy, on the other hand, not so much. I'm telling you, man, there's a situation. I really, truly believe that he might be, maybe he could have played, maybe he couldn't have, but maybe he's just not happy with the organization and the training staff. We've heard this before. Maybe this is his chance to say, it didn't really work out in Clippers. I'm going somewhere else. I can see that happen.
I can too, and I talked about Kawhi on my show on Monday. Is that this is another time he's had a problem with the medical staff.
Yep.
Well, it's about time Kawhi starts to look himself in the mirror because he's had the injury bug since his rookie year. He gets hurt every single year. So distrust in San Antonio. There was no reports of that in Toronto, but he was only there a year, and he played with tendonitis as well.
Well, there was no issues in Toronto because he brought his. They allowed him to bring his own trainers. They allowed him to bring anything you want. You want your wife on the plane? And kids said fine. And you do whatever you want, Kawhi. We just need desperately to win this championship. So whatever you can be able to do, you go ahead and do it. So they were desperate. But I've said this, and I've said this a long time. When you do this as a franchise, when you bend over backwards for a guy that you should not bend over backwards for, this is what you get. Yeah. This is what you get. He's not a great player. I'm not going to take that away from him. He's not saying that he's not a top 5 player. He is. But he's not somebody that you build a franchise around because he does this. You can't trust him. But only the Clippers, only a desperate franchise like the Clippers will go ahead and mortgage their future for those two guys. Only the Clippers. So they get what they deserve, and I'm very, very happy. Back to the basement.
This is unbelievable. No, I think, though, with Kawhi, you bring up a good point about Toronto, but I think what we've – and this isn't, a mystery. I think we found this out last year when they lost to Denver, is that while, like you mentioned, he's a great player, the 2 championships he won were in cultures that were already there. Obviously we all know the Spurs culture. That's
right.
A+.
He stepped into the Spurs. All he had to do was play defense. They took the rest over. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He did. He played his role. By the time he was a superstar, the Spurs were already in decline. You're already in decline. So,
then he goes to Toronto, which is keep in mind that Toronto for years they kept running into LeBron. That's why he had the nickname LeBronto.
Right.
And so you replaced DeMar DeRozan with Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, you're going to be better. And they did get some breaks in the playoffs. They obviously got a huge break in the finals. And so all that combined, he goes to the Clippers, which is not a champ. What's up, Ryan? How you doing?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm just partying. I'm just partying. I can hear you just fine, babe. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Man.
Best day ever. Best day ever.
You know what? I'll say about the Clippers, man? Like, and I heard you guys talking about Paul George a little bit, and they kind of talked about it a little bit in the simulcast tonight about like some of the flack that he gets on social media. I never thought he's a terrible player. I think he's a really good player. He just doesn't show up all the time.
No, that's the thing. Here's the thing that I want to get out there. I don't hate Paul George.
Right.
What I hate is this notion that he's a superstar.
Right, and he's
He's
not.
a very good player.
He's
But
not a
there's a
superstar.
difference between being very good and being legendary.
Right.
He is not a legendary player, and that's okay. But just
I think before the leg injury that he had out here and when he was playing for the US, I think it was the US
Team USA.
Team USA.
Yeah.
I think he was a superstar then.
No.
I think.
No,
You don't think so? I think he was.
no.
I think he was. I mean, because he carried those Pacers teams.
Did he
quite a bit.
really?
I think so.
He kind
I
of
mean,
did.
he had some good battles with LeBron when he was in Miami. But then again, like nowadays, like who's not a super? Like I think we're so quick to name so many people superstars. Is Devin Booker a superstar yet? Like I don't know yet.
No.
I don't know about Devin.
Listen, here's the thing. There's only a handful of superstars in the NBA.
Right.
LeBron,
Right.
Curry,
KD.
KD,
KD.
Hell,
Giannis. I got to put Giannis in
Giannis.
there.
Yeah.
Luka is getting there.
Luka's getting there.
I go to Trey.
Ah,
I'd say Trey.
Not yet. Not
It's
yet.
too early. Too early.
Too
Not yet.
Too early for
Okay.
him.
Not yet.
Too early for him. Hey,
He's ascending.
he's in that Luka. They're getting there. They'll get there.
On his way.
They're just not there yet. You know what I'm saying? But there's only a handful of superstars. There's very good players in the league. There's elite players, but the superstar, that word is not for everyone.
And I think
Damian
it's
Lillard.
loosely.
This
Damian
ain't
Lillard is a superstar. Yes.
Dame's a superstar. Like this ain't WWE. Everybody's not a superstar. You are a good player. That's it.
Right.
And
Right.
this is the thing. Paul
Right.
George, very good. But there's guys who make their careers in the regular season, like Paul George, like James Harden, like Karl Malone, like Tracy McGrady. All
Russell
of
Westbrook.
they've made their careers in the and there's nothing wrong with that. You have to build a total resume to get into the Hall of Fame. They've done that, but they just missed the other part. They just missed the other part that you have to
Is
perform.
Kawhi Leonard a superstar?
Right.
No, he's not.
Kawhi Leonard's not a superstar.
Nah,
No.
he's not. See, the thing is, the
I
problem with
agree.
Kawhi
I
is
agree.
that he's not available enough to be a superstar.
Right. I agree. I agree.
Anybody that chooses to sit out 20+ games a season every year can't be a
Right.
superstar for me.
But it's so crazy though. Like not that long ago, when he won that championship with Toronto, everybody was like, "Oh man, he's LeBron James. He's like better than LeBron." Look how like things changed in the last 2-3 seasons. You know how things can change just like that. You know, he leaves Toronto, he goes to LA. They haven't really. I mean, they've had success in LA, but they haven't had that ultimate success by winning a championship. And I still think they're not going to get it with him. I feel like that team needs to be blown up too as well. I mean, personally, it's not going to work out with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Listen,
It's just not.
if they needed to be blown up, Ryan, I will help with the demolition.
Right.
Okay, I will help with the. I will help with the demolition because
it's not going to work.
this is what happens. I was telling Bryson before y'all
heard
heard it.
I heard you.
When you're a desperate franchise, this is what you do. You just throw everything. You throw all your future stuff away, and you say, "Hey, let's try this thing." No, it's like when Miami got their big three, right?
Right.
What did the Knicks do? Well, we need our own big three. We need our own duo. They got the worst duo. They got the worst duo. They forced it. They had to go get Amari. They had to go get Melo. It didn't fit.
What about when the Lakers in 2016 to try to go with the dynamic trio of Russell, Clarkson, and Timofey Mozgov?
What about when the
Desperate
Lakers
franchises?
What about when those old heads got there, Gary Payton and Karl Malone?
Yeah.
The Lakers are super
And,
team,
and
they got their butts
were
kicked in
number
the
one
finals.
seed that year too, though. They still were a good team.
Kicked in the finals.
Yeah,
Why?
they were.
They didn't like each other. They didn't like each other. There was a bunch of
That was their downfall.
guys. It was just a bunch of guys. The Clippers, to me, for the last few years under this Paul George and Kawhi Leonard regime, they're just guys. This is not a team. They're a bunch of talented guys. They are not a team. I played in a lot of basketball games in my life. They remind me of that talented IS-8 team that got put together yesterday. It's a bunch of talented guys, but they don't trust or like each other. That's what I see. That's what I see.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys this now. So the finals are set. Oh, and the finals aren't set because the Hawks and Bucks still have to play.
I don't know who's winning that series, honestly.
Right. But so this is my question now. Do you guys like this new NBA now, where we really don't have an idea?
I don't. I hate it.
I don't like it either. I don't like it either. It's weird.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Because
the NBA was designed for dynasties, just like Bryson said yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before that?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
That's the thing. To me, like not just the NBA, but in sports, I think to an extent, baseball maybe has suffered from this a little bit. Is that if you have that, not necessarily even a dynasty. Like we thought Brooklyn was that for a little bit, but if you had, for example, the Lakers, everybody was going at the Lakers. Everybody was even mortgaging the long-term future just to put together a team right now to go beat the Lakers. The Heatles, from 2010 to 2014, Golden State starting in 2015, and even the Lakers this year. So when you have that team that's on top and everybody knows, okay, this is who we got to go at. Listen, the parity's fine for a year, but we all know when you got the villain, it makes it that much more interesting. And frankly, we really don't have the villain right now. The Patriots were that for 20 years, and now I don't know if we got a dynasty right now in the NFL.
No.
Kansas City ain't it?
With that dynasty, you had the Yankees in the late 90s into the 2000s. Lakers, Golden State,
Spurs.
Miami, Spurs. Spurs. They were on and off, but you can call them a dynasty.
They were great for years, though. 5 championships in how many years? 5 championships in what? 20 years? So 15.
15. Right. So definitely you need somebody to root against.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. That's it.
You need villains. This is why the Miami Heat were so good for the NBA. Is that people hated that. Oh, well, how did they come? This is not fair. You have 3 of the youngest players, and they're not even in their primes yet, and they're teaming up. Yeah, hate them. But they made the NBA a ton of money in those 4 years. A ton of money. Those finals were one of the highest rated finals in all 4 years because people wanted to see Miami lose. Yeah, they want to see them lose. Yeah. So
same thing with
you need villains, man. Golden State. People, listen. Every time I saw the logo, it would make my head hurt. I hated that team. I hated them, but they were good for basketball. I respect it. I respect it. I understand.
I do.
2016 was beautiful because I saw my man LeBron take you down 3-1. That was beautiful. Beautiful.
Don't remind me, man. That's my worst memories as a sports fan.
So are you guys going to continue to watch the rest of these games closely? Does it matter for you anymore, really, honestly?
I guess I have to because I got a show. I can't just go cold turkey, but we've made it this far.
I'm with Bryson. The only reason why I'm going to watch and critique and put in my points because I have a show. But I'll be honest with you. You guys are my friends. No secret here. Cat's out of the bag. I don't care who wins.
Me neither.
I agree.
I couldn't care less who plays. I couldn't care less who sets finals records. I don't care if the ratings are out the roof and we get a 7 games and it's the most exciting thing we've ever seen. I don't care.
Now, I would rather see Phoenix and Atlanta. I think Trae Young is more exciting to watch than Giannis to me personally.
Oh, yeah.
I like John Collins. I like some of the players that Kevin Huerter. To me, Milwaukee doesn't scream like, Milwaukee to me is like San Antonio without the pedigree. So they're not a team I really want to watch.
Well, you know what they are? You know what the Bucks are? They're the grit and grind Grizzlies. That's kind of what they are. They don't obviously the style of play isn't the same, but not any championships, not yet with Milwaukee. Maybe they do it this year, but kind of under the radar, but you respect them. But probably not the greatest thing if they get to the finals. But I mean, that's the thing. Anybody, and listen, I've talked about my show about the ratings increase, but anybody that would say that we wouldn't have preferred a Lakers Nets finals, which we thought was certainly in the books, we would have taken that in a heartbeat over what we're getting now. I mean, can you imagine KD, LeBron, East Coast, West Coast? Heck, you can even throw the hip hop, Biggie, and Tupac into it. I mean, it'd been must see TV.
Lakers are fine.
No, y'all would not have beaten the Nets.
Lakers are fine.
I guess we'll never know. We'll never know.
Maybe next season, but that's still a big if.
Oh no, they're done. Unless
the Lakers have a lot to ponder.
A lot.
See, now I'm gonna have to come at my man. Don't you dare say the Lakers are done. Okay, we are never done. We are never done. Every time people like to count out the Lakers, some miraculous trade happens, and people say, "How did that happen? It's not fair. How did they get that guy?" So just don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you. Because the last time it happened, David Stern had to step in and say, "You know what? No, I can't do this. I can't do it. I can't allow this to happen. Can't allow this to happen. I can't let them get Chris Paul and get another 4 championships to the Lakers."
Right.
What do you think? You know what? Rest his soul. Rest in peace, David Stern. But I got a gripe with you. Okay? I got to put this out there now. If it wasn't for David Stern, I'm going to say it right now, we wouldn't have the Clippers. They'd probably be in Mexico. They'd probably be in Seattle. It's his fault that the Clippers still exist because he nixed that trade for the Lakers and he let Chris Paul go to that crap franchise, that
Lob City
franchise. That's what he did. He set it up. So it's his fault. This is all your fault, David Stern. You're resting in peace right now. I understand that. But this is what you created. This is what you did. Okay? And my powers, I had to set it right. I had to set the universe right. I've been praying to whoever just to make sure that this happened. Okay? I couldn't have the Clippers in the finals. You guys don't understand. You guys don't understand.
I believe you. I feel you.
That I was under. Okay?
I feel you.
All the praise from Bryson. I was watching a show the other day. He's just like, "Oh, this Clipper praise. What's going on here? This is a nightmare. It's a nightmare."
It's an alternate universe.
Yes, bizarro world, upside down, Stranger Things.
Are the Suns the legit power in the West now? Even next season,
there is no power. There's no power. There's no power.
Okay. The West is wide open until the Lakers can be able to say it's not. I think that if the Lakers are healthy, if they're able to get the shooting that they need, the Lakers are still the crown jewel in the West. If they cannot, it's a wide open Wild Wild West, and it's any man's game. And if that's good for basketball, then we'll see. But, there is no – I don't think, to be honest, there's no power in the NBA, period.
No, there's not.
Every team in the league has weaknesses. Every team in the league has holes. Every team in the league possibly has some coaching, issues that they have. Whether they have a new head coach and they have to get a system in, or they have an old guy that maybe he's been there too long, or a guy that they're not too sure on. Something, other than probably Phoenix, because I love Monty Williams. Monty Williams is a hell of a coach. But there's a lot of question marks around the league in regards to roster, in regards to what players are going to be there next year. We're going to see a lot of player movement in this offseason. A lot. So. It may be the most you've ever seen in regards to trades. Because I don't think that there's going to be any – there's no big free agency splash. There's no big
unless Kawhi opts out.
Unless Kawhi opts out, exactly.
Which he might, because he's like that.
That's a possibility.
And listen, every team in the league is going to vie for his services. I don't care what people say now. He can be – If he says, "I only got 40 games for you next season," sold. We'll take it. Then that's just the way the league is, right? So yeah, it's my man My man Rahul is gonna chime in here. I wanna get him in here from Tampa. What's up, my man?
What's going on, bro? How you been, man?
Come on, man. You see what's going on over here? You see what's
it's
going
a party
on
over there, man. What is going on? Is that a strobe light? You trying to give people seizures on the damn thing.
Right, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I can't look at it.
I'm not trying to get sued out here.
Hey, what's up, fellas, man? Hey, I follow you guys on your podcast, man. Just want to let y'all know, man. I've seen you on Barry's show a couple times, so
Appreciate
good
you,
stuff,
man.
Good
I
shit,
appreciate
bro.
that. Thank you.
That's my guy, man. Check out his show, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, so it finally happened. We found out what happened to Chris Paul.
Yeah, listen, that's it.
We finally see Chris Paul got the rust off him, dropped 41. And
That's
guess
it.
what? He got his teammates involved.
We was waiting for it the whole series.
The whole time, Devin Booker finally started attacking the rim a little bit.
Right.
They used the big man. It's like, I don't know, it's crazy. It's almost like they heard every single one of our shows and just said, you know what, maybe we should do what they said. maybe these guys are right because we finally got to see him, man. It was crazy. And I'm sitting at home like, so you mean to tell me we could have did this 2 nights ago?
Exactly.
You could have closed down in Phoenix and went to your house.
Right.
You don't have to wait to fly right.
You could have celebrated, but you know what? It's more poetic this way, Rahul, because, like I said, Paul built this team. He built that franchise. And for him to come out and say, you guys are not going anywhere. Not tonight.
Yeah.
This is my house. I know these rims.
Right.
I know these courts.
Right. I know my spots on the floor. Yeah,
right. I know everything. That dude Kawhi, he don't know where the bathrooms is at. I know where the bathrooms is at. I know where the bathrooms is at. I don't
even see Billy Crystal give a Kawhi dap to say what's up to him. You know what I mean?
Is it Billy Crystal dead?
No.
Chris Paul hugged him tonight, man.
He might
I thought he was dead. I was like, why is he shot at a dead dude?
He might like get this franchise because he's like, I don't support Kawhi, I don't support Paul George. I was a Chris Paul guy. I love Rock City. He was out there all the time. You know what I mean? Chris Paul said, listen, they don't even know where the switch is in the basement. I could go downstairs with my eyes closed and flip on the switch in the basement. I know where it's at.
I wouldn't doubt Chris Paul knows the people that work there. Their names.
Yeah.
Floor,
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Sell the beers. I'm pretty sure he knows everybody in that building. The way
he knows
plays,
exactly where it's at, man. And this is why I was so happy that he was talking his talk. Talk your talk out there. Don't let them try to knock you off your pedestal. You busting their ass, and that's what they deserve. That's what they deserve.
I love when Patrick Beverley came unglued. I love it.
Right. If it was the other way around,
you've been rapping and talking the whole series.
You would have saw Patrick Beverley out here with his pom-poms and doing all types of nonsense. But no. Now it's time for y'all to feel it. Now it's time for y'all to understand that you're not elite. Back to the basement. That's where you belong. That's where you'll stay.
Hey, I know you're hating for the Clippers run deep, bro. So you finna give it to people tomorrow, boy. I can just tell all day.
I'm telling you, man. I'm so mad that I got a show on Saturday. But guess what? I'm gonna keep the party going. I'm gonna keep the party going. This is not gonna stop. Not gonna stop.
I feel you, man. I feel you, man. That's crazy. And again, like we said, like we've been talking about, even when we talked about on your show, whenever Chris Paul shows up, we'll be fine. Because in my opinion, the last 2 games, I was like, shoot, here we go. This dude's going to lose the series again because he's used to losing series. And it's going to happen again for this poor guy. After 16 seasons, he's going to do it for a 3rd time, lose a damn lead again.
Bro, after game 5, I was sick. I was literally sick. I was like, yo, there got to be a black cat that's running around. He must be running on the ladders. There must be a broken mirror in his house. Something's going on here because it don't make sense. It don't make sense.
Bro, listen, man, and you hit it on the head. Listen, to see Chris Paul get 10 points in the first half and then drop 31 in the second, you know what I'm saying? Something had to change. Now, don't get me wrong. He was on fire when he shot with them threes. Tonight, everything fell for him. It was great. But the difference was you got people involved early. That's what it really was. Like, it comes down to assists.
They got their confidence, man. I think, sometimes
Crowder got going.
Crowder got going. We gotta remember too is that Phoenix, these players haven't been there. Except Crowder and guys like that have some playoff experience. This team is young. So the pressure of being at home in a game 5 to close it out, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask for a young team. And to put all that pressure on them at home. It's better for them to go to LA, be in that building where, you don't have to worry about that home crowd. You can just be the villains tonight, and it's always better to wear the villain hat than the hero hat. It really is, because you kind of relax a little bit more.
It's them against the world.
You know, he loves to wear that villain hat. Chris Paul loves it. He doesn't like to be the hero. He doesn't like to be celebrated. He likes to do this. That's what he likes to do. So,
and I agree with you. I just felt like he was inserting himself way too much in 2 games. Like you were just doing no reason. There was no reason to sit there and have you dribble down the court, walk down the court, wait 12 seconds, pull up something that's just a crazy shot that you just weren't in rhythm with. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, damn, you're hurting the team, bro. Come on, man. Devin Book,
he was forcing it a lot.
Yeah, it was crazy. So it's good to see it, man. I saw you live, man. I was like, let me get on. I see my dude just partying over here, man. This is, you know, it's 12:30. I feel like you going to the championship right now.
Yo, listen, man. That's the way I feel right now, man. That's the way I feel right. It's 12:30, and I don't care. I don't care. I'm not planning to go to sleep no time soon, man. I'm good.
I see, bro. I was coming up here to doing a little podcast and do a little 30-minute thing, and I was like, man, I'm not partying enough like he is. I got to get some lights. I got to pop up. I got some white Hennessy that I brought back from Puerto Rico. I'm going to have to pop bottles or something, man. But y'all keep doing your thing, man. I keep following all you guys. God bless y'all, man, and keep doing your stuff, bro. I'm going to holler at you. I got to make sure my kids ain't running around here playing laser tag or something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, I'm going to holler at y'all, man.
Salute, man.
Absolutely.
That's my dude, man. Rahul, on the clock radio down in Tampa. You know, he got that same energy that I had, man. Like we had that podcast, man. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So check out his stuff. He knows the stuff, he knows the sport, so definitely give him a shout, give him a follow, give him a listen. But back to the party, fellas. Okay? Back to the party. Now, Ryan, I'd like to ask you.
Yeah.
Your opinion, what do you think happens to the Clippers now?
Well, it all starts with Kawhi Leonard and what his decision is. Paul George is going to be there. Ty Lue's going to be there. Most of those guys will probably still be back. I'm not familiar with their contract situations, but the big piece to fall will be Kawhi Leonard. And if he does come back, they're the same team. And I feel like they're going to go through this all over again. Bryson talked about it earlier in the beginning of this live about his injury, his list of injuries, and the fact that he doesn't even play a full season. So you got to battle the load management, and he's not available enough. And, I mean, something that we've all talked about, his leadership. Is he really a leader? I'm not in the locker room, but I can kind of sense that those guys could care less if he's there or not. And if anything, there might be some resentment there for guys who give it their all. I'm not saying he doesn't give it his all, but he doesn't play all the time. And a lot of times he doesn't play because he's like, well, it's my load management night. And that's kind of bullshit too. So Steve Ballmer, you know, they're building that new arena over where the Lakers used to play, which is a travesty. So they definitely have some big ticket items to think about. But as far as next season, I'll say this. If they come back the same team, it's going to be the same result. Now, if they go out, he leaves them, they'll probably be better off in the end, because then maybe Paul George can maybe step in and maybe be that guy. I don't know if he is that guy anymore, if he ever really was that guy, but I think the Clippers are what they are. The Clippers are a peanut butter sandwich. Like, you eat it, it's good, it'll fill you up, but it ain't a filet mignon. It's not going to do that. You know what I mean? It hits differently. So they're like a peanut butter sandwich. Like right now, a couple years ago, they were trash. Obviously, we talked about it on your show when I was a Clippers fan many years ago. Like, I'm talking about almost 20 years ago. It was different. They were scratching. Now the Clippers are perennial playoff contenders. Like, they're getting into playoffs. That's where they are now. Before, growing up, I used to be excited when they were like in the hunt. They're in, you know, for the 10th, 9th spot, 8th spot. Now they're going to be in the playoffs, but I don't think that's going to be good enough being in LA, moving into a new arena in the next couple of years. And the Lakers are just like you said, the Lakers will rebuild eventually. They definitely need to go, and I know we're not talking about the Lakers, but I know they need to go out and add another piece to help an aging LeBron and an AD who's always hurt. So, I mean, I know I'm a Laker fan, you're a Laker fan, but there is some realities to that roster, and it all kind of falls around health. If they're healthy, the Lakers are one of the best teams in the league. But if health comes into play like it did this season, the Lakers will be right back where they are again, watching the finals from home.
Well, yes, I will agree with you. In regards to the Lakers have a lot of work. But I'll tell you this. It's better than being in the basement. Because they have a lot of guys that are up. They have Reggie Jackson, who's going to get a lot of money from some team who is going to regret it, giving him all of this money. They have, let's see, Luke Kennard. They've committed a lot of money to him. You got Marcus Morris that's making a ton of money. 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿. Terrence Mann has some talent.
He's up and coming.
Yeah.
But
do you think they retain Boogie?
No.
Possibly?
Nah.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Boogie's gone. Rondo's gone.
Rondo's definitely gone.
Rondo's gone. Did he get another DNP tonight?
Yeah.
I didn't see him on the floor.
I didn't see it. From what I saw, I didn't see.
What? You see? Sometimes when I speak, sometimes I'm right. I remember when people were saying, playoff Rondo, can't wait for that. I said, for you to ask that man to do what he did last season in that bubble again. What he did in that bubble last season was tremendous.
Yeah,
because nobody expected it. That. Because as Laker fans, we wanted him gone. They were Laker fans in droves. I'm talking about in the thousands that were like, don't play him anymore. Let him hold the towels. Let him hold the clipboard, but don't play him anymore. Then the break happened. COVID, you got back there. Rondo comes back and he lights the world on fire, helps us win a championship. You couldn't expect him to do that again. You really can't.
Nope.
Right.
Not at his age.
Especially on a team that lacks focus, that lacks leadership, that lacks stability and guidance. Ty Lue tried his best. Ty Lue really tried his best.
He did an excellent job.
Tried his best. But you could do so much with a team that has no leadership on the court. As good as Paul George is, he's not a leader. As good as Kawhi Leonard is, he's not a leader. We saw when Chris Paul was, having his little COVID protocol stuff, and he was engaging with the team, FaceTiming, making sure that he's talking to people. Where was Kawhi?
In the
up in the palatial seats, right? In the suite.
I didn't like that at all. I thought that was a bad look.
Why not be on the bench?
His ass should be on that bench talking to his team.
He was tonight, but still.
But maybe the Suns and the Clippers are two different teams. The Suns, they're almost like I don't want to say a college team, but they have a lot of young players, and a lot of these guys probably look up to CP3. Whereas the Clipper players, like, who's talking to Boogie? No one's talking to Boogie. No one's talking to Patrick Beverley. All these guys they're veterans. They probably, and like I said about the whole resentment thing, they probably look at Kawhi and probably like, man, go sit up in the palatial seats, because honestly, you're not even helping us, bro. Like, who cares what you have to say at this point? So like I said, he's good enough for them to win a lot of games in the NBA, but to reach that pinnacle, I just don't see the Clippers doing that. And if you're a Clipper fan out there, I'm sorry to say, you're going to be in the playoffs. You're going to be in the playoffs every single year for the most part while those two guys are there, but you're not going to win the ultimate championship. You're just not.
Is the problem with there's your guy. There's your guy. Really?
Yeah.
Well, I was about to talk about him for just a second here. Is the problem – well, there's a lot of problems, but is the main problem with the Clippers the fact that they've got – I was going to say this hot take for tomorrow's show, but heck, let's just go ahead and do it.
Let's do it.
Is it
tomorrow
the fact that that's true, it already is tomorrow. Is it the fact that they've got 2 twos? Is Kawhi more of a 2? Because keep in mind, the championship he won in San Antonio – he was Finals MVP, but again, he had the greatest power forward ever, albeit not in his prime. But Tim Duncan could still ball. So could Ginobili, Parker, Patty Mills had an unbelievable series. So did, guys like Marco Bellinelli. Everybody stepped up on that San Antonio team. They were just better than Miami that year. And then the year he won in Toronto, I'm one who said that, and this is definitely a hot take. I think Kyle Lowry should have won Finals MVP that year. He had more big performances on the road when it really mattered. People forget in that Game 6, he was their leading scorer. He outscored Kawhi. He got out to that big run early, hit a big shot late. Kawhi was fairly non-existent late in that Game 6. And so is Kawhi a 2? And we know Paul George is a 2, but is Kawhi a 2? Like, is it fair to
That's a great question.
In today's NBA, they can play both, I think, because you have a lot of small ball. Kawhi can play the 3. Paul George can play the 3. In some, depends on the matchups, but like traditionally, those guys are both number 2s. Traditionally, I would say.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to disagree. I think Kawhi is more of like a hybrid 4 now. I think as his mobility, he just turned 30, as his mobility and his health decreases, the power forward position is going to be where he plays exclusively.
Yeah.
He can still be out there and hit the 3. He can still take you off the bounce. But in regards to, he's not the defender that he used to be.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
And the reason for that is because he's sacrificed a lot of his defense for his offense.
Right.
He has to save his legs now because he has to deliver so much for his team in regards to offensively. Before, it wasn't that situation. He can just be able to play as much as he wants to defensively, give all – stop laughing.
I can't take this, man. I can't take it.
You got the glow sticks. You was ready, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he could be able to just play defense and not have to worry about offense. Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, they're the ones that handle it. So, now it's a different thing. You need defenders around this guy. You need him. You need to keep him fresh. You need to keep him. You need to keep those knees, those bad knees good. So he's gonna have to play the 4 exclusively as he turns 31, 32, 33. That's where I see him playing. That's where I really, really see him playing. Honestly,
I could see that being possible. I mean, I just think that. He's part of, it's a cliche in sports, the best ability is availability.
Right.
He's not there health-wise. And listen, he is a great playoff performer. We've seen that time and time again. But he's not a dude, and this to me is what makes him more of a 2 and not a true superstar, is I don't think you can just hand a franchise to Giannis and he turns it on a dime. I mean, LeBron.
Okay. I missed.
Oh, that's what you meant. Oh, I thought you meant.
That's kind of what I meant.
So you're talking about a number 1 option. Oh,
yes, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't talking about. Shooting guard.
No, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you, bro. I don't think that he's a number 1. I don't.
No, he's not.
I don't think that.
To me, a number one is a dude you can say, man, for one night, maybe 2, carry us.
Yeah.
Put us on your back. Like you said, it's a small group. It's a small group. LeBron, KD, Steph,
Curry.
Dame.
That's it.
Curry.
That might be it.
It's a small group.
Because if you think about it, even in Toronto was already established too. Like, they were a good team.
They already had their flavor.
And honestly, no offense to any Canadians, if they're in the live tonight, but they got a break when KD got hurt, man. Like, I feel like if KD doesn't get hurt,
the whole team,
the Warriors win that series.
Let me just say this, and I'm going to try to sound as unbiased as possible as a Golden State fan.
Impossible.
As possible. I will do everything in my power. I think even with KD out, remember, Klay missed Game 3. Klay missed Game 3 of that series. But even with that, Game 6 Klay is Game 6 Klay for a reason. He was balling in Game 6 when they were down 3-2. And before he tore his ACL, he hit 4 or 5 straight shots in a row. Golden State's not losing that game if Klay. I mean, it came down to the last shot without him.
And think about it. That's what I'm
saying.
And
because if they win that game, it goes to a Game 7 in Toronto where, Toronto was up 3-1. Golden State's been here before. So, I think even with KD out, Golden State would have won the series if Klay was healthy.
I would agree with that because for what I saw out of that Golden State team that year, banged up in the playoffs, and they still pushed that Toronto team to 6 games.
That's it.
Right.
So, it just goes to show you that, listen, we talked about this, ad nauseum, Bryson, that, you need to be lucky. And the Raptors fell into some luck. Like, you talk about the lucky, the Game 7 Kawhi bounce shot against the Sixers. Like, it hit every part of the rim and went in. So, those things, you need some luck, and they got a lot of luck in that run. And, they won a championship. Kudos to them. But, yeah, going back to your original point, I definitely don't believe that Kawhi is the number one. He needs a guy like a Dame. He needs somebody that can be able to take the brunt of scoring, and he can be able to. Yeah, he needs an alpha dog. He needs somebody that's going to be able to galvanize the team. He's gonna need somebody to be the leader while he can just be the assassin. That's what he likes.
Right.
He doesn't want his teammates to have to rely on him to look for leadership. He just wants to go out there, destroy you, and go back to whatever he's doing. Like it's not you can't expect anything more out of him. The Toronto year was the template and the blueprint for Kawhi. You need to make sure that you have a team in place. You need to have a culture in place. You already need to have your team leader, Kyle Lowry. You need to have everything there, and then he can just be able to come in and be the assassin and do what he has to do. He cannot do this. He cannot be LeBron James. He cannot be Chris Paul to go somewhere and impact the team the way they do because their leadership qualities are beyond what he can do. That's the problem. And this is why I remember after he won the championship, everybody's like, it's Kawhi summer. He's the best player in the league. Remember, every piece of clip and footage you saw on ESPN, they were comparing him to Jordan. If he wins a championship, he's going to be in the same breath as Jordan. Yeah. I'm like, we talking about the same Kawhi? The same guy?
Right.
So that they tried to change the narrative, and he himself believed that he was a power broker.
Yeah.
Him and Uncle Dennis thought that they were power brokers, and we can go to Clippers and control that franchise because they're desperate. You're damn right you can, but they're not going to win the championship.
No, you ain't gonna win titles there.
So the Clippers, you get what you asked for. Steve Ballmer, hey, you got this franchise now. It's worth a lot of money. You're going to go ahead and disrespect the forum and build that godforsaken embarrassment over there. Go ahead. Nobody's coming there. No one.
No, not in
You'll
LA.
have your own building and nobody cares.
Remember the Kawhi Town ad on opening night in 2019? Remember that?
Remember
New
the
Balance.
commercial they
New
had?
Balance. New Balance.
Oh, yeah.
The New Balance commercial, King of LA. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that.
He's not even the Prince of LA.
King of
The
the
good thing,
basement.
though, if anything, here's what the Clippers can do. They can, at the start of next season, they can hang two banners. They're opening night champs over the Lakers, and they're West. Remember how the Colts a few years ago did AFC Championship appearance? They'll do Western Conference Finals appearance. That's what they'll do.
They can definitely listen.
Yeah, 'cause that's the first time they've ever done that.
Hang that. They need to have a celebration when they open the new arena. Drop the banner. Have some rhinestones around it. It'll be good because what else do you have to celebrate? There's no retired jerseys. There's nothing like that. And here's the beauty about this, right? This is what makes this all the better. The Clippers fans booed Chris Paul tonight, right? Booed him, hated him. But guess what? The guy that's going to get his jersey retired in that uniform is Chris Paul.
Oh, yeah.
If there's anybody that deserves to have his jersey hung up in that awful crap building that they're going to build, it's going to be him. It's going to be him. So, Clipper fans, you need to appreciate what you just saw tonight. because you could have had it had you appreciated the guy when he was here. Maybe he would have stayed. Maybe he would have took less money. Maybe he would have said, if you guys can land Kawhi and this other guy, we'll figure it out. Let's do it. But no, you casted him off. You thought he was finished, and this is what he did to you. Karma is lovely. Lovely. Listen, guys, look at it. I mean it. I mean it.
Best day ever.
I mean it.
With Chris Paul, remember there were so many Blake Griffin apologists out there that drove me crazy. I'm like, man, this dude can't shoot. He's good. He can jump out the gym, but I mean, come on, man. He's getting hurt in the playoffs. He was on the floor, and Chris was too. To be fair, but when they blew that huge lead against Houston in 2015 in Game 6, people thought Chris was the problem. I love Doc, but Doc is the king of blowing 3-1 leads, and so
Master.
It was everybody else's fault but Chris. Just to put it. I mean, he played, factor in them blowing that 3-1 lead in 2015 and playing other playoff collapses. But
right,
he was the one who made that franchise relevant for the first time really ever.
Yeah,
nobody talked about the Clippers. They were a joke.
They were dead in the water until Chris Paul got there. Yep. Dead in the water. Nobody even talked about the Clippers. How bad they were.
They used to give away Clipper tickets.
It's a giveaway.
You would go to the grocery store, buy some
team.
pork and beans, and get Clipper tickets. It's like that's how
they'd be right there next to the pack of Sour Patches and Annihilators. Right there. Free Clippers tickets. You don't want this. I want the candy.
It was LA Sparks and Clipper tickets. Those are the two that you get to choose from.
I don't care about Clipper tickets. Give me the candy. I'd rather that. That's a better time than the damn Clippers tickets.
It's a JV team.
Yeah, it's a JV team. What do we care? We don't want to see that garbage.
Jeez.
Come on, man.
You got to admit, though, I would actually make the argument they're in a better position this offseason than they were last year. I think they got the upgrade in head coach. They absolutely do. Obviously, the problem is Reggie Jackson played so well, like you mentioned, he's going to get overpaid. It's not going to be about the
Bryson, I may have to disagree with you, bro, because if they're in a better position than they were last season, I can't see that because if Kawhi leaves, then they're definitely not better.
That's fair, but I thought I was,
And Reggie Jackson chases the bag because they can't pay him. Remember, he's taken 2 veteran minimum contracts from the Clippers in the last 2 years. They can only give him probably, like $9 or $10 million a year, something like that. Some idiot GM is going to give Reggie Jackson $20 million. I'm telling you right now. Between him and Cameron Payne, I don't know who's going to get more, but we can be able to take a bet on that.
Probably Reggie. Yeah. I mean, Cameron Payne's been good, but Reggie had a great playoff run. So, he's gonna get the bag.
Can we take bets now? We'll take friendly wagers. I say that Reggie Jackson gets more money than Dennis Schroeder on the open market.
Oh yeah. I agree.
Who's taking my bet?
Man, I mean, obviously he was better than Dennis Schroeder. That's not even a debate, but we talked about earlier. Like you said, some idiot general manager is going to be desperate to go. I mean, Dennis Schroeder has done more in the NBA, one could argue, than Reggie Jackson. So, man,
but it's what have you done lately? That's
the world.
That's true. That's true.
It's a good one.
Man, you know what?
Reggie Jackson will get more money.
My gut tells me Dennis Schroeder. For some reason, I don't know why, but my gut tells me Dennis Schroeder.
I'm telling you. Guys, I appreciate you guys tonight for coming on this live. You don't know how much it means to me because, if you guys didn't come on, I would have had this party alone. But the fact that you guys are here, it makes it all the better. Makes it all the better to see my guys celebrate this great epic loss for the Clippers, this celebration for the Suns that they get to the finals for the first time since '93. It's a beautiful time to be a Suns fan. And maybe I'm a de facto Suns fan right now because it doesn't hurt my franchise. I'm a Lakers fan. We don't hate the Suns. We don't care about the Suns. That's like if the Sacramento Kings got to the final. Who cares? Yeah. Let them win. Let them win. Let them have their time in the sun. No pun intended. Let the sun shine. Let them have it. Let them have their time because you know what? It ain't going to last. So let them have their one championship, and that's fine. Because we all know Golden State's going to be back. We all know LeBron ain't going out like that. And we all know that some other team is going to rise up. Some other team is going to create their own dynasty that we don't see coming. It's just the way it is in basketball, is that there's talking going on right now. Yep. Who's going to be the next trio to team up or the duo? Somebody's already plotting, and I can't wait because this offseason is going to be lit. It's going to be lit. It's going to be exciting, and I can't wait.
I got the trio. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Ben Simmons.
I knew you was going to say that.
God. I can't call that a trio. I can't call that a trio. That's a dynamic duo. And
that's not actually that's a pretty good fit for Ben Simmons.
Don't say that, Ryan. Stop.
Why?
It is.
I don't want Ben Simmons, man.
They already have Draymond Green. They don't need Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Draymond's older.
Give me Draymond over Ben Simmons any day of the week.
Give me Draymond right now with Ben Simmons. Right now. Listen, I'll do you one better, Bryson. Here's my big three. And I've already laid it out there. I don't care if you don't want to believe it, but it's going to happen. Okay? LeBron, Anthony Davis.
You going to say Dame.
Dame Lillard.
That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
You can't tell me anything, right? Nobody can tell me anything. The basketball guys have told me that the Clippers were going to lose tonight. They told me this, and they told me in a dream that Dame is coming. That's all he said. He said, listen, I don't want to tell you when he's coming. And I said, oh, that makes sense because he wants to go to L.A. He's always wanted to go to L.A. Check his tweets. Back in 2017, they asked him if he wasn't in Portland, where would he want to go? He said Utah or the Lakers. It's going to happen, okay? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And when it does happen, I'm going to come in here and throw another one of these parties. And Bryson, you're going to be invited, and I'm going to just thrash you for a half hour. That's all I'm going to do.
Well, then I'm going to have you on.
I love Dame.
I love Dame, too. I mean, he's one of my 5 favorite players in the league. But I'm telling you, you are a classic Lakers fan. They think they're going to get everybody.
Because we do. Because we do.
Well, we didn't get Kawhi. You
didn't get KD. You didn't get.
We didn't want KD. When do we want KD?
We didn't want KD.
We never wanted.
I don't think we went after him, though. I don't think we went after him.
Listen, let's just go through the decade, shall we? Huh? When we got Kareem, okay? Then we go get Shaq when nobody thought we was going to get Shaq. They thought that Shaq was going to go somewhere else.
Hey, before Kareem, we got Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah. There you go. Wilt Chamberlain. Hell. Give me Kobe Bryant. We can get everybody we want. Okay? Everybody we want. Anthony Davis, I told people from day one, Anthony Davis is going to be a Laker. And as soon as he fired his agent, I said, I knew it. He's coming.
Yeah,
He's coming. He's coming. And lo and behold, Anthony Davis. So don't tell me about – we're not Knicks fans. See, Laker fans are not Knicks fans. Knicks fans are delusional. Those people are crazy because they think that everybody's going there. They think that Zion was going to go there.
Zion's going to New York. Zion is going to New York.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. There may be another team.
He wants to go to New York.
He loves New York, but he may end up in the Lakers. We'll see. Who knows? Who knows?
You're proving my point.
He said he might go to the Lakers.
until it's proven that we don't get anybody. And listen, I already told you, Bryson, you better watch it, okay? You better watch it. Don't taunt my team. Don't tease us. Because if Steph says, you know what? I don't want to sign this extension. I don't want to do it.
You come to LA too.
Listen.
Aisha wants to go to LA.
I'll take him.
The girls and the little homie want to go to LA. So maybe I'm gonna call Braun and let's figure it out.
Yeah,
And if
38.
that
He'll be
happens,
38 years old in year 19, but okay.
if that happens,
Shoot, though.
Bryson, if that happens, I am going to fly to Tennessee.
Oh my goodness.
I am going to make sure that I have that Steph Curry Lakers jersey on me. And I'm giving it to the entire family. The entire family gets Steph Curry Lakers jerseys. Everyone. Doesn't matter, dog. Whoever you got over there, they get it. Okay, I'm bringing a whole suitcase full of Steph Curry Lakers jerseys. All for the Carver family. Because I love you people. All right? That's what's going to happen.
I will have to retire from my show if Steph goes to the Lakers. If he's not leaving though. Come on, man. Clay's gonna be back. You know, Draymond's. You know, he's not prime Draymond, but he can still play. The team's deep.
Realistic trade for the Lakers. I can see them going after Buddy Hield. I can see them going after Buddy Hield. I can see them going after 𝐥𝐤𝐬 McCollum. I can honestly see them if Bradley Beal says
That's what I want.
I can see that being an option.
I could see that.
I was talking to Bryson about don't be shocked the Lakers start kicking the tires on John Wall because his market is down. The Rockets are not going to ask for a lot, and all they would have to do is package off Kuzma. You can put a 6-pack of beer in a bag, take Kuzma, take KCP, and if Harold wants to opt into his contract because he knows he's going to get traded, you ship his ass off to. That's the deal. You go get John Wall, and that's not a bad big three to have. Health-wise, you have to. It's a concern. John Wall, LeBron, and AD. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like it. I don't hate it.
A lot of ifs, though. A lot of ifs.
There's a lot of ifs. A lot of ifs. But all I'm saying is that Rob Pelinka is a very aggressive GM.
Yeah.
And he likes to look for deals that people aren't necessarily like clamoring for. He'll call somebody and be like, hey, you know, what's up with this guy right here? I didn't really think about trading. What do you think? 2 days later, they have something in principle. So, you know, I'm just saying, in Rob, we trust. I trust that man, okay? Rob Lowe is going to get something done. I don't have any problem with it. Whoever wins this championship is going to be a one-off anyway.
Right.
I'm guaranteeing it right now. Any team that wins the title, it's a one-off.
Yep.
It is not going to be a repeat.
Right.
Not going to happen.
Totally agree.
Not going to happen. So whatever team wins the championship, let them celebrate it. They can have it. They're like, Phoenix wins, that's fine. Have your little parade, that's fine. You know, people going to be out there having a good time and partying. It's the last one you'll have in a long time.
Right.
Same thing with the Bucks. Same thing with the Hawks. It's all right. We're in bizarre world, fellas. Let's enjoy it. Let's drink a beer. Let's have fun because the Clippers are gone. So this is it's all house money now. Listen, the Nets are gone. That was beautiful. But this, tonight.
This is different.
I've been waiting for this for a full calendar year.
It's over. They're gone.
Congratulations. I'm glad you had a great night.
I did, man. You guys made my night, okay? I can't do it without my buddies. I love you guys.
That's what we do. We love you.
Yes. You see, you have to accept all of this. I'm crazy, but it's fine. It works. It works.
Makes for great entertainment.
Yes.
All right, man. Well, I'm hopping off, guys. You guys enjoy yourself, man. And Barry, don't party too hard, man.
Listen, I don't. After doing all of this and eating all this candy, how the hell am I going to go to sleep? I'm so hopped up right now.
Yeah.
Might as well just stay up.
Shoot, I'd go and just
rewatch the game.
Yeah, rewatch the game, do a special podcast episode, just do whatever you got to do. Seriously, you need to do that. You need to get off here and do a podcast.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe I should do.
You should.
A full Clippers episode.
Yeah. You need to do it.
Call it celebration. Something like that. I don't know.
Clipper coronation. New York.
Listen,
guys, you guys have a good one. Always good seeing you guys,
this
man.
right here is going
See you,
on
Ryan.
YouTube. So I'll see you guys
Peace out.
later, baby. I'm telling you. Let me just one more time. Let me just beef up. Hey, it was a good night. A good night. Clippers lose. No championship for those guys. And I'm going to say it before I get out of here. Closing line. Closing time for those Clippers. It's been real, but it's time to go back to the basement. I'll see y'all.